Okay, here is rule number 7 for commas. This is to use a comma after a succession of introductory prepositional phrases. Okay, succession means 2 or more. And just to review, prepositional phrase is a phrase that starts with a preposition, ends with an object of the preposition. Here's examples: beside the wall, on the field, behind the tree, during the game, after the game, over the hill, under the hill, blah, 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 blah. Okay, those are prepositional phrases. And here is a sentence: at the end of the block, near the old railroad station in Mill Heights, the ugliest dog in the world did a dance. Okay, so we have at the end, 1 prep phrase, of the block, 2, near the old railroad station, 3, in Mill Heights, 4. Okay, so you put a comma after the 4th one. If you just had 1 prep phrase, no comma, but if you have 2 or more, then you put the comma after the last one. Okay, rule 8 is to use a comma after an introductory adverb clause. And just to review, an adverb modifies a verb, adjective, or another adverb, and it tells how, when, where, under what conditions, or to what extent. And if you have an adverb clause, that means that it still functions as an adverb, but it's a clause with a subject and verb. Introductory means it's at the beginning of the sentence. So here's an example: as soon as the final bell rings at 2:47, comma, most girls run for the exits. Okay, so as soon as the final bell rings at 2:47, it is an adverbial clause. It has a subject, bell, it has a verb, rings, and it answers the question, when do they run? Okay, so definitely an adverb clause that's introductory, so you put a comma after it. Rule 9, appositives and appositive phrases are set off by commas. Okay, a positive, what is it? Okay, it is a noun with modifiers that re-identifies the noun that came before it. Okay, so here's an example sentence: English, the best subject in the world, is a class mandatory for all high school students. Okay, so the best subject in the world. Okay, it does not have a verb. It's just a noun with a prepositional phrase. So that makes it an appositive phrase, and it is re-identifying English. So English is needed in the sentence. This is not. It's just extra. It's superfluous. So you could put a comma before and after it to mean that you could take it out of the sentence. Okay, sometimes appositive phrases are just 1 word or 1 name, and it's not necessary to put a comma surrounding them. Okay, but you can. It's not wrong. So it's an optional comma if it's just for 1 word or 1 name. Okay, rule 10 is to words used in direct address are set off with commas. So if you're directly addressing somebody, put a comma after that person's name, or set it off with a comma from the sentence. So Wade put that cat on a diet. I'm addressing Wade, so I want to set off Wade with a comma. In the second sentence, I am addressing the cat, so you seem to be uncomfortable with all of that extra weight, Miss Whiskers, so you set off the sentence from the person you're addressing with the comma. Rule 11, parenthetical expressions are set off with commas. Okay, what is a parenthetical expression? It's basically an aside. It's extra words that aren't needed in the sentence. They have no bearing on the sentence's meaning. So here are some examples. For example, on the other hand, I know, however, I believe, etc., etc. Okay, so those don't have any meaning in the sentence, so it's just an aside, so you set it off with commas. So here, the train, I am sure, will be on time. So you have your parenthetical expression in the middle, set it off with commas. Here it's at the end, set it off with a comma before the word, naturally. And here, yes, that is my husband. He is weird. By the way, Miss Campbell's husband has too much time on his hands. So I set off the parenthetical expression with a comma from the rest of the sentence. Rule 12. Okay, this is easy. We know that June 21st, 1977, you put a comma in between the date and the year. Okay, you also know that you put a comma in between the city and the state. However, what you probably don't know is that if you continue a sentence after the year, you have to put a comma after it. Okay, no matter what, put a comma after the whole entire date to separate it from the sentence. Same thing if I wanted to continue my sentence after New Jersey, you would put a comma after New Jersey. So that is something that most students get wrong, so make sure you commit that to memory. Rule 13, okay, this is easy too. Dear Ashley, comma. If you're writing a friendly letter, put a comma after the person's name. If it's a business letter, you put a colon. Sincerely yours, okay, however you end a letter, you always put a comma before your name. So sincerely yours, comma, yours truly, comma, whatever you're saying, put a comma after it before your name. And last but not least, we have abbreviations. Okay, if you have a name followed by an abbreviation like senior, junior, PhD, MD, whatever, you want to put commas around the abbreviation. So Tanya Romaz, comma, PhD, comma, has been my best friend since the 7th grade. Okay, so yes, PhD is not necessary in the sentence, so you put it in commas, surround it with commas. And that is it. Okay, no more comma rules. Do not use a comma for anything other than the 14 reasons in these 2 videos. So, bye for now.